Calling the Transportation Committee of the McLean County Board to order today, Tuesday, June 6th. It's 8 a.m. officially. Roll call, Member Soldner and Member Bloomfield are absent today. Approval of minutes from May 2nd, 2023. Do I have a motion? Motion by Member Abraham, second by Member Abel. Do we have any questions, additions, or subtractions? No? All right. All those in favor vote aye. Opposed vote nay. Ayes have it. Number 2B, recommended approval of bills and transfers to the county board. Our fund total expended is $3,971,624. Do I have a motion? Motion by Member Abraham, second by Member Reeves. Do we have any questions or comments? No? All those in favor vote aye. Opposed, nay. Ayes have it. All right, number 3, do we have any appearance by members of the public or county employee? Okay. We always welcome them if they want to arrive and ask us questions. 4A1, request approval of resolution for the May 25th, 2023 project and fence letting. Do I have a motion? Motion by Member Abraham, second by Member Abel. Jerry?
So the first two were projects that a couple of townships wanted to do that's a little bit more involved than just a regular oil and chip project. So these were kind of separated out, and so what they're going to pulverize the existing road up and then add gravel to it and then put the oil and chip surface on there. A lot of times, or the main maintenance work that the townships do, usually it's just the putting the oil and chip right on the existing road, and so there's not additional aggregate and additional work. So we separated these projects out, and they're using some motor fuel tax funds, and I think one township is using some Rebuild Illinois funds that they still have remaining. And then the fence project with the highway department is Hohulin Fencing out of Goodfield was a low bidder, and kind of corresponds where we're actually HJ Apple's out there resurfacing our parking lot right now, so they'll get done with that, and then hopefully the fence company come in soon, so it'll be a nice addition to the highway department.
Do we have any questions? No? All right. All those in favor vote aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Ayes have it. All right. Move on to 4A2, request approval of agreement with the Illinois Great Rivers Conference of the United Methodist Church. Do I have a motion? Motion by Member Abraham, second by Member Reeves. Jerry?
So this is for East Bay Camp, which is up on Ron Smith Highway near Lake Bloomington. And so East Bay, they have basically they operate or have facilities on both sides of the county highway, and they have campers, the different types of camp all week, every week of the summer. And so they used to have a pool on the one side, and the kids used to cross. The pool got filled in, but there's still a lot of activities there. And so these kids are crossing at all different times of day. So they requested us to put up flashing beacons. And so we have these flashing beacons up around the county mainly in school zones. And so we kind of took the same agreement and modified it to fit East Bay Camp to put up a couple of these flashing lights. So East Bay will purchase, the highway department will buy the lights and then get reimbursed by East Bay Camp, and then we'll install the lights and then program them for East Bay Camp.
Do we have any questions? Member Abraham?
Is there going to be any speed limit change? Or is it just like a yield sign?
It's the actual there's two crosswalks there, and we're gonna put them on either side of the crosswalk, and so then there's crosswalk signs, and so we're gonna put them right on top of the signs. But the speed limit I think is already like 35 going around there, so we won't look to lower any.
Anyone else? I have one. It's probably not a big deal. Is it just going to be used during the summer? They'll be on, or will they be flashing all year round?
That's a good question. So in the summer, they'll be like, going from like 6 o'clock in the morning until 9 o'clock at night. And then, outside of summer, I think they have weekend retreats. So we'll do, Saturday and Sunday then as well.
All right, anybody else? Member Abraham?
If that's the case, would we be able to get like a full schedule of those weekend retreats, just to make sure that anytime that they're there, they're gonna have those beacons on?
Yeah, I think what the plan was, we were just going to program them for every Saturday and Sunday throughout the year, or outside of Labor Day, but Labor Day to Memorial Day, where they were just going to still be on, whether they were having. I think they have retreats all the time. They're slow. They might be slow in December, January, but if they can get us a schedule, that'd be great as well.
Gotcha.
That's how the schools do it. We usually get their calendars and then program accordingly, when they're going to be there on what, and we can put the beacons so they do not flash on the days that they're not there.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Anyone else? No? All those in favor, vote aye. Opposed, nay. Ayes have it. All right, 4A3, request approval of an engineering services agreement with Hampton, Lenzini, and Renwick, Star Bridge Repair, Section 23-29132-00-BR, West Township Road District. Do I have a motion? Motion by Member Abraham, second by Member Reeves.
So I got some pictures of this bridge, so you can kind of see. So this bridge has a concrete pile, but it has timber abutments, and so you can kind of see here in the middle that the timber abutments are starting to fail, and down here at the bottom, it doesn't go all the way down to the water line. So during erosion events or rain events, we have erosion here, and it causes the soil behind these timber abutments to get removed, and then that in turn makes the road settle on the approaches going to the bridge. And so we've done a few repair jobs of structures like this where we put a metal sheet pile in, and we have a contractor come in and they hammer down the sheet piling all around the bridge. And so this will work on the design work. So we'll get borings on it, and then we'll look at the soil conditions, and then they'll determine how thick the steel needs to be, and then how deep or how long and how deep it needs to be driven in there. And so they'll come in here and they'll dig on the front side of the bridge and remove all this stuff and pour the sheet pile down in there, and then pour concrete back on top of that, and then build the road on top of the sheet piling as it comes. And so I just got kind of a few more pictures you can kind of see down here at the bottom. And this is basically just a straight abutment here. The ones we usually do, they'll come across the bridge and then they kind of 45 back towards the existing ditch. And so you kind of see up top here some of the rock that's getting removed. This isn't necessarily a good picture, but you kind of see where it's this is also kind of eroding here around this is the base of the bridge. And so I think that the township road commissioner requested us to look into this because he was maintaining it a lot, putting gravel and concrete and asphalt all back in there to try to pack these holes back, but it just keeps eroding. So we've probably done this maybe a half a dozen times, and I should have put a picture on there of what it's going to look like, but I didn't. So so we're looking at about $325,000 for the total construction costs, and then this engineering agreement is going to be $25,000 to come up with the design, and we're be doing both north and south abutments on this bridge.
Do we have any questions? Member Reeves?
That doesn't look like, with those concrete there in the side, that's not exactly a new style bridge. How much longer do you expect that bridge to last?
We're gonna redo the guardrail, not necessarily on the bridge, but we'll put a new guardrail on here. The rest of the bridge is really intact, good. The deck's in good shape, the piles are in good shape, so it's just these abutments are failing, and I wouldn't say it's necessarily on a high traveled road either, so I think I'm not sure how long it'll last, but probably another 30, 40 years, I'm guessing. I don't exactly remember when it was built. I should have looked that up too, but.
Anyone else? No? All right, all those in favor vote aye. Opposed, nay. Ayes have it. 4A5, request approval of Rebuild Illinois Fund Resolution for Hudson Road, CH 12, Section 22-00135-15-WR. Do I have a motion? Motion by member Abraham, second by member Reeves.
So this is just a bridge construction petition that appropriates the county's portion of this structure or this project. This is going to be a 50-50 split project with the township. So we're looking at doing this here in 2024 once it gets designed. And so the township's going to be using either Rebuild Illinois funds or MFT funds. And then we'll use, it'll come out of our county bridge funds for this.
Anyone have any questions? No? All right, all those in favor vote aye. Opposed, nay. Ayes have it. All right, next and last one for action today, 4A6, request,
We have number 5. We just approved the Star Bridge repair, which is
Oh.
number 4, and we're now on Hudson Road.
oh, well, I read off the wrong one then, because I read the Hudson Road. So, we approved number 4, which that one was request approval of bridge construction petition for Star Bridge repair, section 23-291132-00-BR West Road District. And now we're on 5, request approval of Rebuild Illinois Fund Resolution for Hudson Road, CH 12, section 22-00135-15-WR. Now I think we're caught up. All right, that's all right. Do I have a motion? Motion by member Abel, second by member Abraham. Okay.
So this is the Hudson Road project from Rock Road into Hudson, and it's a project that we're probably not going to do till like 2025, but we're going to use our remaining Rebuild Illinois funds that we have. So we received $6 million, and we used $4 million of that on the Meadows Road project from last year, and so we have $2 million remaining, and so we're kind of putting it on for this Hudson Road project. And so we're working on the engineering and the design for it right now. But I just found out last month that if you receive over $45,000 in the RBI funds, you have to obligate it by October of 2023. And so basically that's all this resolution is doing, is obligating the money from the RBI funds. And but we won't be spending it till 2025. They just want to, I think they're wanting to make sure that all the money, the Rebuild Illinois funds are getting spent by the local agencies, and or at least they have projects that they're going to. And so we didn't have any townships that had received over 45,000. So a lot of the townships used it for maintenance, and so. But there are a couple other ones that are kind of saving it for some bigger projects that they're going to be doing here in the next year or two. And so we're maybe a handful of those. And so we're working on those projects as well, and then trying to get everything we can spend here in 2023 as possible.
Do we have any questions? Member Abraham.
I had 2 questions. One, are all the municipalities and localities within McLean County aware of the RBI fund deadline?
I know that the townships are. I'm not sure about the municipalities. I believe the state did reach out to them and to tell them that they, had to have their money obligated. Well, they probably didn't have a lot of the townships probably didn't receive, or a lot of the municipalities probably didn't receive over 45,000. The city and the town probably did, and so I'm sure they're aware of the obligation. But if they didn't receive over 45,000, then that's not necessarily, they don't have to obligate it, but they do need to have it all spent by 2025.
Gotcha.
So I think IDOT's done a pretty good job of trying to let people know, and our district's done a real good job too of making sure that everybody's kind of spending their RBI funds.
Good stuff. And then this $2 million figure, is that our portion of the 50/50, or is that gonna be split 50/50?
On this project, this will be a strictly 100% county project.
Gotcha.
So this is what is remaining of the six. So we received $6 million, and they did it like in 6 allotments. They did 2 allotments per year, so we end up getting about $2 million a year. And so this is the remaining 2 allotments that we're going to spend.
Perfect, thank you.
Anybody else? One question. So this is just saying that we're going to spend the money on that. We'll still get approval for bids and all that
Yes.
stuff later on.
Yeah, once we get all the engineering done, get it all designed, we'll have to buy the right of way, and we'll probably end up. I don't think this $2 million is going to cover it, so we'll probably end up having additional resolutions on out of motor fuel tax or county matching as we go along.
All right. Anybody else? Nope. All right. All those in favor, vote aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Now we'll move on to 4A6. Request approval of intergovernmental agreement with the city of Leroy. Do I have a motion? Motion by member Reeves, second by member Abraham. Jerry?
So the city of Leroy reached out to us about placing license plate cameras in the county right of way, and so at first we thought maybe we could do this by a permit, but thought maybe we'd need to do something a little bit more formal. So we got a little bit more, I guess, criteria, involved with where these cameras actually go, because when the company that wanted to put the cameras up, the first time they came to us, they were like wanting to put it 4 foot off the edge of pavement, and so then we got to worried about snow plows and other things hitting it and everything. So we kind of came up with I got this agreement from another county and worked with the police chief from the city of Leroy, and so we kind of came up with some of these parameters to put where to put these license plate cameras. And I don't know if you guys have all seen these or not. I know that the town and the city have a bunch of them. So that's kind of what they look like there that they want to put up. And so we did it to where if they were in town, that they had to be within 12 feet of the edge of pavement. And if they were outside of town, like in a 55-mile-an-hour zone, they had to be 16 foot off the edge of pavement. Typically, we put our sign out in the rural areas. Our signs are like 14 foot off, and so just kind of covers. I put us another 2 foot outside of that to make sure. So, so I think this is going to be probably a lot of more municipalities are going to want these as we move along here. There's grants out there for them, and I think. I talked to the sheriff, and he was on board with these, going in, and especially if some of these municipalities are stepping up and taking care of it. So this is kind of the first one. There may be more to come, but this is what we're looking at. And the city of Leroy is basically responsible for the cost and the placement of these. We're just going to be reviewing where they go and approving the placement.
All right. Do we have any questions? All right. All those in favor, vote aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. That finishes up our items for action. 4B, items to be presented. Jerry, do you just want to walk us through these?
Sure. So I got all kinds of pictures. We had a lot of. So this is the first project is the Meadows Road project, and so this has all been completed. We still got to put the white stripe on, but it's kind of a project that we started last year, and we put the remaining surface lift on this year and the gravel shoulder. So I've got so we're working on kind of final paperwork, final documentation with the contractor, kind of finalized and all the quantities and stuff. So I got kind of some pictures. Here's kind of picture of an intersection there, and then, but it was a 5.5 mile project. The total cost is around $8 million. We're probably going to come in just a little bit under what the bid price was, but it's going to be fairly close to that. So it's kind of another picture there. And so any questions on that project? It turned out really good, really good improvement from what was there previously. And then so the next project is the Horse Farm Road project, and so this is similar to construction of the Meadows Road project that we did last year. It's basically a full reconstruction, widening out the ditches, took out all the existing pavement, and going to put new aggregate down. So so it's always good to, when we're doing a dirt work project, to have really, no rain. So they've really made some headway here. They probably got almost a mile of dirt work done, and then they'll come back and grade the road out, and then we'll put the aggregate in there. So I think they're working on some culvert pipes now, but this is probably, so 136 is up here to the north. This is about three quarters of a mile south of there. So you can kind of see, and this is kind of going towards Route 136. You kind of see where we probably bought 10 to 15 foot of right of way on each side and moved the ditches back. The road was originally a 20-foot oil and chip road, and so now it's going to be a 24-foot wide hot mix road with 6-foot shoulders. So it'll be a good improvement. This is an area where they replaced a box culvert with a culvert, and you kind of see there's the culvert, and we had some additional tie that we had to hook up here, and so that's the Horse Farm Road project. They're moving along good on that. The next project is the Lake Spur that goes from Kamlar Park to Green Gables area. And so this project's completed, all done. We put, resurfaced it and with paved shoulders and rumble strips. So this is around a 4-mile project. And so it said they got this one knocked out really quick. So there's some pictures here of that project. Any questions on any of those so far?
Is that what you call a safety shoulder there, where it's paved beyond the white line?
Yes.
Not just gravel?
Yes. Yeah,
And then-
with they're 8-inch rumble strips or they're.
And then on the Horse Farm Road, where that comes down to the county line and intersects with DeWitt, how do you make that transition, or what's DeWitt doing on their side?
So DeWitt's not doing anything on their side. I think I want to say about 10 years ago they did some work, or they didn't beef up the road too much, but they did do some work on their road. I think there's some hot mix in the intersection, so we'll just tie into it or pave, probably back to where the south part of the right of way. We'll just start paving right there and then transition into our road. And then, so next project is the Saybrook Arrowsmith Road. That is about a 4.5 mile project. So this is our cold in place recycle project, where they use foamed asphalt as the mixing agent. And so you can kind of see this is kind of the train here. This is the paver. So this is the recycler machine, and then there's the up front here's the tanker with the foamed asphalt. And so they come in there and they went down 4 inches with the mill, and when they're doing that, up here this tank's injecting the foamed asphalt into the mill, mixes it all up, and then it goes back into the paver and then gets laid out like a normal paver. So this is what it looks like when it's all said and done. So it's you can kind of see how wet it is, and we got some rollers back here, and you kind of can see that it's starting to dry out. And so once they did the whole road, we had to probably wait 5-6 days, and then they come in, they test the moistures, make sure all the water's out of there, and then yesterday they just finished where they came in and profiled it to kind of take out some of it, just to kind of smooth it up. And then tomorrow they're going to start putting the first lift of hot mix on that. So this project ought to be done here in the next couple weeks as well. So It's kind of nice getting some of these projects out early and getting them completed. Any question on that one?
So what was the advantage of incorporating that when it was already there versus just going over it with hot mix?
So this pavement was like 30 years old, and so the cracks in the road were really pronounced, and so really you could feel them a lot more than just a normal road, and so we thought we needed to go down a little deeper and use the existing road to basically hopefully take out those cracks and kind of put an intermediate layer in there. And then I don't have the last project that we started. I don't have any pictures of that. Is the Riddle Pit Road, and that's part of the Sapphire Sky Wind Farm. And basically, the contractors just come in there and tilled up the existing road, laid it back out, and next week they're going to put 2 inches of aggregate in there to cap it and smooth it all out, and then they're going to put an oil and chip surface back over the top of that. So. So just kind of, there's an update there. As far as the Sapphire Sky Wind Farm goes, the contractor has been in there. I want to say that half of the roads have been cover sealed, so they've been they're not gravel no more, so they're getting back to it. And I would say by maybe the end of next week, I'll have at least 2 coats on them. They're getting 3 coats of oil and chip total this year, and so with the good weather, they're moving along as well.
Member Abraham?
So for this project and the previous project, Saybrook Aerosmith Road, the spent to date is reported as 0. Is that an error on these documents, or is that a correct assumption?
Well, it's not necessarily an error. I mean, we haven't, usually we try to pay the contractor every couple of weeks. And so our resident engineers, they give us pay estimates to submitted a pay estimate for these couple projects yet.
Gotcha.
So, so they just haven't, they haven't had a chance we haven't had a chance to pay the contractor yet.
Gotcha.
So they've done some work, and it's probably like 35% complete, and we'll probably try to get one out this week, or it might be next week if they're going to be paving here the next couple of days, at least on the Saybrook Aerosmith Road. And the Riddle Pit Road, since all they've done is really pulverize the road, they haven't done a whole lot of work yet. Mm-hmm. So once they put the aggregate in there, then we'll provide another pay estimate for them.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Anyone else have any questions? Thank you and all of your staff for all you've been doing so far this year. All right, next up, department matters. Administrator Taylor, do you have anything for us?
Thank you, Chair Rogal. I have nothing to present for action to this committee, but I will remind you all that our next meeting is on Wednesday, July 5th at 8 a.m. So don't come on the holiday.
Does anybody have anything else? No? All right, then we are adjourned. See everybody on July 5th at 8 a.m.